Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're here, it's because you want to find out about my fitness journey and where I started and how I got here, the ins and outs. This is something I've actually always wanted to make a video about, so it's exciting to be able to do it now. But before we begin, I have my beverage of choice. We have a sparkling water, a Waterloo lemon lime. They're literally my favorite. Yep. It honestly tastes like those summer popsicles that you used to get at Walmart. I'm not sure if everyone knows. They're the plastic long tube ones. It tastes like the green ones. I'm not even kidding. So my fitness journey didn't really start off because of anything like me being in sports growing up. I actually was in absolutely no sports growing up. I never really liked sports necessarily. I never really was the competitive type, and anytime I would play any type of games in like PE class, I would never really like them that much. And I know I always liked the feeling of like exercise. I remember being like 12 years old or 13 years old in middle school, and it'd be summertime and I would just be lounging around, hanging out around my house, just doing nothing because it's summer. And I would always want to just, I'm like, I want to do something, but I didn't know what it was exactly that I wanted to be doing. I used to go on runs around my neighborhood. I think there would be a total of 10 minutes long because I hated running too. I would maybe do one lap around my neighborhood and then come home dying. Something I knew though is I just wanted to exercise. Thought I wanted to do sports as I was growing up in high school. I always said like I wanted to come to school with like a little, you know, practice bag, like, oh, I have practice after school. And in middle school, I did have some type of body image issues, if I'm being completely transparent. I've always been bigger in the breast area, even as a 6th grader. So you can imagine being around 12, 13-year-old boys with large breasts. So I was very early on aware of my body and its size and it being necessarily larger. I wouldn't necessarily say I was overweight. I just remember there would be times where I would go shopping for school clothes in the year, and the clothes I would wear towards the end of the year, like May, when school in Georgia, some school would end in around May. So I remember I would wear, my mom would say, okay, well, try on the clothes from last year to see what fits still. And I would try on my jeans and stuff, and I would gain so much weight over the summertime that when I would have to go school shopping, I would honestly need a ton of new clothes. And then with school and just not lounging around all the time and I guess munching all day, I would lose weight. And I just became super aware of, you know, pant sizes and the fact that, oh, I just tried on jeans that fit 2 months ago and now they don't fit me at all. They don't even get above my mid-thigh. So I was aware of the fact that bodies change in size, and I was aware of gaining weight, losing weight, and I just remember there would even be times where in the summertime where I would be taking photos, you know, at the pool with my friends, and I would try to suck in the photos. And so I was definitely fully aware of my body and the insecurities I had at a young age. And I think my body type just maybe stood out a little bit as a young girl. So it was easy to start nitpicking it at a very young age. So that was middle school, and as I entered high school, I'm 14 when I enter high school, and I remember I was exercising at the LA Fitness by my house, but I don't think I had a membership, and I think my mom would just let me tag along with her, because I know I for sure didn't get an actual gym membership of my own until I was about 16. I think it was my junior year of high school, like the summer, sophomore to junior year. I remember that summer I think I got a gym membership, but I remember going to the gym before that, but it wasn't consistent, and it was just, you know, if the LA Fitness let me sneak in, I guess, or something like that. So at this point I had experience lifting weights to a certain extent, and I did enjoy it, but again, I didn't drive. I'm 14 and I don't have a job. I can't have a gym membership, so it was kind of just something I would do if I had the opportunity, but it wasn't something that I was doing consistently. Fast forward to when I am about 16 and I get my gym membership. I remember it was sophomore going into junior year, and my grandmother has been active my entire life. Like, if you ask my childhood friends from my neighborhood that rode my school bus, I kid you not, we would get on the bus, the school would pick us all up, and as the bus was exiting our neighborhood, you would see my grandma with her little 2-pound dumbbells going on her morning jog, and she would walk like this. I kid you not. So my grandma has always been super active, and she would go to the gym. When I would be home from school in the summer times, she would be going to the gym at the time I would usually be in school. So then now that I was home during the summer, she knew I was kind of starting to like the gym, so she would take me with her in the morning. So it was summer vacation, and I started waking up at like 6:30, 7 a.m. to go to the gym with my grandma. And I really, really liked it. And I remember I had a 2-week gym pass. I remember it started expiring, and I went up to my mom because I still not had a job yet. I think I'm 15, 16 at this point. And I asked my mom, I'm like, I really want a gym membership. I really like going with grandma in the morning. I said, yeah, I'll get you a gym membership. If you go, you have to go though. If you stop going, I'm going to cancel it. And that's fair. I'm not going to make my mother pay for a gym membership that's not being put to use. So I agreed. She got me one, and I was going every morning with my grandmother. My grandmother would go, still to this day, she's in her 80s, and she goes to the gym nearly every morning and does her cardio, her little weightlifting. I think she does yoga. She does aqua aerobics, and the whole 9 yards. So she's very active, and she honestly would be someone that I would say helped shape, mold, and supported the beginning of my fitness journey. And the sole reason I had the ability to be very consistent in the gym as a very young teenager, and also my older sister, who then got her license and got her own car, and she also had a gym membership, and I would wait for her to get off work, and then we would go to the gym together. So those two people definitely are the reason why I became such a gym fanatic at such a young age. I think it was really awesome too. I was actually talking to my friend about this a few days ago, how it was such a great era to start a fitness journey, because there was no influencers. Instagram had just started, I think, going with Androids too, because I don't know if you remember, but Instagram started only for Apple phones. So I think Androids just started getting Instagram. I remember Snapchat was starting to get really popular. And I think Twitter started becoming a little popular, Facebook a little bit. Like, social media was just around, but no one was influencing, no one was making videos, no one was, vlogging necessarily, especially in the fitness community. There was no fitness influencers. And so I was able to develop my relationship with fitness and, body recomposition, changing your physique, and getting fitness goals. I was able to do that without having it be comparison to people on the internet, especially since I was so young. It would be very easy for me to be influenced by people I see on the internet. If I were to be 17 now, starting the gym and being on Instagram, I can only imagine the mental comparisons young girls go through now, comparing their teenage body to women almost in their 30s. I remember the most I would get from Instagram would be like boulder shoulder supersets, like lateral raises with a shoulder press and an Arnold press, and doing those back to back to back. Like, it was more just like workout inspo, but no one was doing body checks on Instagram. No one was doing what I eat in a day's. No one was doing that. So it was a really awesome time to start a fitness journey, because when I would think about my physique change or changing my body, I would only think about, I would just like my own arms to have this or this and this. It wasn't like, her arms look like that, so I want my arms to look like that. So I definitely started at a great time. Eating healthy and being health conscious started for me at a young age as well. So it kind of made sense that after a while, it blended together, and it was easier for me to get results at a young age, like 17, because I was already eating a relatively healthy diet. Key factor was just not moving enough. I wasn't in any sports. I would wake up, go to school. At school, you're just sitting at a desk pretty much the whole day. You're just walking from class to class. And then I would get home, sit, do my homework. So it was just a lot of sedentary stuff. So I wasn't able to really burn any calories. I would consume calories, but just wasn't burning. So I think that just contributed to you know, just having a little extra fluff on you that people usually might want to get off. And I was definitely very conscious of that fluff, I guess you would say, around, you know, 14, 15 years old. And then 16 is when I got my gym membership. At this point, I'm 17 and I've been going to the gym, I would say, for about 6 months. I started in the summer, going very consistently, and I would say by the time I was probably graduating high school, I graduated at 17. Most people graduated at 18, but my birthday was in July. So school ends in May in Georgia, and so I turned 18 that July. And I would say by the time I finished school, my senior year, and I was graduating, I had been going to the gym consistently. I would even say like 5 days a week for probably a year at that point. And I would say I had a very defined upper body. I had like a little definition in my stomach. You're really confident in yourself at that point. And I had not been confident all through middle school and a majority of high school. And it was nice to finish high school like being very sure in yourself. Now, mind you, when I was very consistent in the gym during my high school years, I wasn't doing any like advanced movements like I am now. I didn't even look at a barbell when I was going to the gym when I was in high school. I was doing a lot of cable work and a lot of machines. And I think every Saturday morning, me, my mom, and my sister would do this Saturday morning. I went to LA Fitness, so it's like a club fitness environment. Every Saturday morning we would wake up and go to this guy named Marvin. He would have a like weightlifting class. Like I think it was like weight step class where you would get like a little bench and you could add elevation to it on the sides. So, you know, like if you're a beginner, you'd have one level, and if you were more advanced, you'd have like maybe 2 or 3, and it was step weight. So you would do like lunges off the bench, and you would do like step ups, and you would do shoulder presses. It was almost like a HIIT class, but in my opinion, still to this day, I would still do that class now. People, you know, when they get to their more advanced area into their fitness journey, they find themselves like too good to do certain like group fitness classes or trying like Pilates or bar. And it's not that those things are necessarily bad. I'm always open to try different types of movement. My preference though is just weight training. But still, those classes I went to on Saturday mornings were very hard. I would do very good workouts, but I wouldn't say they were structured like I have them now. I did not track my weights. I didn't even know what progressive overload was. I would go to the gym, and I remember me and my sister would always go to the gym together, and we would always start our workout with abs. We would always do like 20 minutes of abs, and then we would go upstairs and do our cardio. We would either go on the treadmill, we would go on the elliptical, we would do Stairmaster, and then we would lift weights for maybe like 30 minutes to 45 minutes. And I don't even think I had a split. I think I would go do whatever I wanted, honestly. Or I would do leg extensions and shoulder presses in the same day. I was just winging it, really. But, you know, even if you're winging it, if you're eating healthy and doing some type of resistance training, you will see some type of results. I'm graduating high school and I'm entering into my freshman year of college. I went to Georgia State and I dormed there for a year. So I lived in Atlanta for a year, and we did have a campus gym. So I was going to the campus gym. I think when I first moved there was a few months where I was getting like adjusted and stuff and partying. And I don't think I was like really focused too much on the gym. You know, I just moved to the city and I'm 18 years old, living life. So, and then I remember after I got settled in and stuff, and I had gotten a job and stuff like that, I had started wanting a routine again. So I remember I would wake up, go to class, and then I would bring my gym bag with me to class, and then I would walk from class to the rec center, and then I would go upstairs, shower, and call it a night, and do it all over again the next day tomorrow. It was definitely a fun year for me, and again, I would say even that year I was not doing. I think I would have a split though. In college, I remember having like leg day and upper body day. So I was doing that, but I definitely wasn't doing any type of structured program. I would go in for upper body day and just do a whole bunch of whatever I felt like it really, and then called it. And same thing for leg day. So But again, if you're eating moderately healthy and you're doing some type of resistance training, you will see some results. So at this point, I'm on my way to turning 19 years old, and I'm still going to the gym. And then I left Georgia State. I took a year off of college and I went to go live back with my mother, and I had no idea what the hell I wanted to do anymore, and I didn't like my major, and I had no idea what I was doing. And at this time too as well, I was very into electronic music and EDM and that type of rave scene. So I started doing something called flow arts instead of going to the gym for about, I would say, a year. So I did take about a year off of the gym after I moved back home. And this flow arts was just, I honestly would just take a hula hoop and dance with it. It sounds super weird. I'll show a video here, but very random. It was very fun though. I still can do a couple things with a hula hoop. I will dust some kids at a park on a hula hoop if I ever wanted to, being honest. I would say honestly, flow arts was very an exercise. It wasn't resistance training, but whenever I would do my flow arts, I would work up a sweat. I would, it was a type of movement. And again, I wasn't sitting on the couch. So, hey, at least I'm exercising. Did that for about a year, and I was traveling around the country and just going to music festivals, and I think I did that for between like 18 to 21. I was just kind of bouncing around doing flow arts, but I did start lifting weights again when I met my now husband. He had bought some workout equipment and on Facebook Marketplace, and it had been like a year at that point since I had even lifted weights, and he had bought some weights, and he would go to work. We were long distance at this point, so he would go to work and I would just kind of hang out at his place until he got home from work, and I would just be staring at these weights that he got. And I remember there would be times where I would just be chilling. I'm like, dude, I'm just gonna get a little workout in, because I was kind of like steaming off of the flow arts and kind of getting burnt out and bored of it. And I wasn't having any movement. And again, if you can remember the beginning of the video, when I was in like middle school, it would get to the summertime and I would just be lounging around, and I'd be like, I hate lounging around. It's just not in my personality. I do not like lounging around. There's some days where I will. Now that I'm a mom too, especially, there are days where I'm like, don't ask me to do anything. But on the regular, on the day-to-day, for no reason, all the time, I don't like doing that. So I would be at his house. It'd be a Monday, and I'm just like on my phone, and I'm just like, I can't do this. So I started picking up some weights, and I started liking it again. And I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot that I really do enjoy lifting weights and resistance training. So I ended up getting a Planet Fitness membership, and at this point, I think I am 21. A level membership, so I could go when I was on my boyfriend's side of town when I was there, and I could also go on my side of town when I was there. And I just started lifting again, and that was when, again, now at this point, Instagram is been a social media platform. So this girl through high school, and she had been weight training since I met her, and she had still been weight training all this time, and I had always followed her on Instagram, saw her weight training, and I saw her doing like a single leg RDL with a landmine, and I was like, oh my gosh, that looks so fun. I want to do that. That looks like it hits your glutes so good. Because at this point, again, I had known about like mind muscle connection, like hamstrings, glutes. Like I was very well aware about like splits at this point. So I was like, oh my gosh, but I want to do that, because at this point I had never done barbell work. I had just been solely machines, dumbbells, and cables. I remember I followed College Clean Eating. She was a girl that I saw her doing like sumo deadlifts, and she had that dump truck. So I was like, I'm following her, absolutely. But at this point, I have a membership at Planet Fitness, and I am starting to use the Smith machine. I had used the Smith machine before when I was in high school, but it was not well, and I was not doing no RDLs. I was not doing Bulgarian split squats on the machine. I think I was doing max like reverse lunges, and I honestly think I was doing like supine leg press with the Smith machine, thinking I was doing something. But I was not well versed in what you could do on a Smith machine. My brother-in-law, he was a personal trainer, and I would be asking my husband, like, hey, am I doing this right? And he would tell me, I have no clue, but you can ask my little brother because he knows about form and stuff. So I would send my brother-in-law like little videos, and I'm like, am I doing this right? Like, I would even ask him, I'm like, what's the difference between a sumo deadlift and a sumo squat? Because I had no idea. And through time of him helping me out and stuff and me getting more advanced, I remember I had asked him, I was like, do you think I should just start using like a normal barbell versus a Smith machine? And he was like, absolutely, for sure. So I canceled, and like within 2 weeks, I remember I canceled my gym membership at Planet Fitness, and I found, I went hunting for gyms by my mom's house because I still lived with her at this point. And I found a gym called Georgia Fitness by my mom's house, and it was super sick. They had like a whole room with turf, like it was separate, closed door and everything. It was a separate room. They had turf in there, and they kind of had like pull-up bars, and they had TRXs. They had a separate area with a barbell in there, dumbbells in there. It was honestly, I think like their personal training area, but I never saw anyone personal training in there. So I was always in there because it was like secluded. But they had like full squat racks. They had hack squat. These are machines I had never used before or even considered using. I was super focused on just barbell work. I was like sumo deadlifts, barbell back squats, military press, bench press. I just got super into like all the SBD, the hip thrusts, all the big main barbell lifts. I was super obsessed, and I just dove really headfirst into getting my form right, lifting, getting the weights on the bar. And I had just figured out now, like, okay, so before I knew I liked going to the gym, but now I'm absolutely obsessed with lifting super heavy. Like, I'm talking in the hundreds. Like, I'm like, I want to deadlift 225. I want to hip thrust 315. Like, I picked up a barbell one time, and I said, I want to hip thrust 315. It was crazy. But I dove head first, and I realized how obsessed I was with it. And at this point, I think I had gone back to school. I had gone to a small technical college by my mother's house, and I was going for, I think, graphic design. Didn't like that either. So left college again and took some time off. And at this point, I was just a waitress and going to the gym. I would literally I would go to the gym in the morning and then come home, shower, and go serve. And my mom was like, okay, I understand you're very young, but what are you doing? So then at this point as well, another identity thing I was doing was I was vegan at this time as well. So I was super obsessed with cooking vegan food and trying vegan stuff, and I would go grocery shopping and get all this vegan stuff and come to my mom's house. And my current fitness page, Lily Lifestyle, originally started off as Lily's Vegan Eats. It was a vegan food page, and I was posting all of my food, and I thought I just loved cooking, and I loved cooking all my life. I would watch Rachel Ray 30-minute meals as a normal show when I was a child. Like, I would tell my mom, I'm like, can you see if Rachel Ray is on? So I had always loved it, and I think even when I was young, I had said I wanted to be a chef. So it kind of came full circle that, through life of, eating healthy and putting nutrition first, that my mother taught me that, my grandma taking me to the gym, that I'm now really in love with just taking care of my body. So I had gone to culinary school. I had gone back to that same technical college that I registered for graphic design, and I went back but for culinary arts. And I graduated from culinary school, very obsessed with everything health and fitness. I love the idea of being a personal trainer and then also having a culinary background to be able to help with people in both sides. So I could help people with fitness, and I could also help people with their nutrition. And I got certified in personal training in 2020. So at this point, I think I'm about 21, 22. And I'm just hyper focused on just everything health and fitness. I'm obsessed. It's all I think about. I wake up, I go to work, come home, lift, and that would be my day. I would make my dinner. On Saturday mornings, I would go to the farmer's market and cut up my veggies, put it in the fridge. So I was very obsessed with taking care of yourself at this point. 22, and I'm a certified personal trainer, and I just finished culinary school. So out of culinary school, I became a personal chef in Atlanta for about a year and a half. And during that time, I was also a personal trainer at a gym for about the same amount of time. And then I got pregnant with my daughter and I left the personal chef company and I went to just kind of freelance and do a couple things independently through my pregnancy. And then I had my daughter and became a stay-at-home mom. And I kind of just kept posting. I worked out through my pregnancy and through postpartum. And I kind of just kept up with my fitness page just for fun. I got pregnant with my second daughter about 8 months postpartum, so I had 2 under 2, and I worked out through my second pregnancy and now through my second postpartum, and now I'm here. And it's been a really long journey. I would say I'm about to turn 27, and I started my fitness journey when I was 16, 17. So I would say I've been lifting weights for now a decade, and once I turn 27 in July, I would honestly consider a decade of lifting weights, which is where I don't know where time is going. I think I saw a post too the other day that said like High School Musical came out 20 years ago. I'm super proud of where I am today. Me and my husband have just purchased a home the previous year. I have graduated from culinary school. I have my babies. I am building my business up and I'm able to stay home with them while I do it. And it's absolutely the best. I'm really just able to hyper focus on myself, my business, my self-development, my children, my husband, my family, in my like self-peace, self-development, and motherhood era. I just am really hyper focused on becoming the best person I can be, the best version of myself. I truly wake up every day like wanting to be 1% better than I was yesterday. It is super important for me to just continuously push my threshold of what I think I'm capable of physically, mentally, financially, emotionally, spiritually. It's just those things just mean so much to me. I'm done having babies, so I can go really, really balls to the wall now. With no interruptions, and I'm just super excited for that. There is a point where, you know, when you have babies, your life kind of feels like it's on pause for that entire period, especially with 2 under 2. You kind of just feel like, you know, you're pregnant, then you're breastfeeding, then you're pregnant, then you're breastfeeding again. And now that my baby's, you know, 7 months, you know, I'm kind of getting out of the newborn phase. And, you know, as they turn 1 and become more independent and the walking and all that things, you know, you get out of that newborn bubble and you kind of start breathing again. Yeah, that was my fitness journey, and I think there was just a lot to unpack because of the fact that I've been doing it for 10 years come July, and there's just a lot of identity crises you'll go through between the ages of 17 and 27. This was very fun. This was the most fun I've had making video probably ever, and there will be more coming, so make sure you subscribe. Bye.